now have a place to cut everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's great. That's
yeah.
fun.
Ladies and gentle sirs, this is a good buddy of mine, Mr. Josh Lathe. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Doing good.
Good to hear. How are the holidays? How was all that fun stuff?
Holidays were good. You know, I went home. I have a small family. It's just me, my mom, and my dad, and so we just hung out. Just did Christmas. Like all we did on Christmas Day was just like drink and watch basketball, and then we went to dinner at a relative's house, and that was nice. And I got a cast iron skillet that I am beyond excited about.
Really?
Oh yeah.
What for? Just to
own one. The joy of cast iron skilleting.
Right,
you
right.
put things in it, and then they're really good, and they come out nice. I'm just excited about owning a cast iron skillet.
Never wash it.
No, I
never,
know.
never wash it.
You don't wash them.
Salt and oil. It's the only way to clean this bitch.
Yeah.
It's culinary school is always the thing. It's just like anyone used them, it was like chefs were always like, don't wash it. They just burned it into our heads just to not do that. It's like you season the hell out of it and you never wash the fucking thing.
I have like a scraper.
Right, yeah.
The scraping is oddly therapeutic, which is a weird thing to admit.
No, I don't think so. I always find the little things. Yeah, turn my phone off too, just to make sure. Yeah, I always find the little things kind of therapeutic. Like not for me personally, but like my uncle one time I just went over and he was just like picking weeds, just in his garden, making sure his garden was just the way it was or whatever. I was like oddly therapeutic. He goes, kind of is, just a little shit like that. Yeah. But have you got a chance to listen to one of the episodes? May I ask?
No.
No. All right. Cool. Not a problem. It's just more or less. It's episode 4 or 5, something like that. I don't know. But it has been kind of. I wanted it originally kind of be just road stories, but it's gotten very abstract or kind of freeform from that, so it doesn't have to be.
Oh, okay.
But because I know you've done some good handful of gigs on the road and stuff, and I know you've probably got a few stories that are worth mentioning and stuff.
I hope.
Well, I would hope so as well. But one thing that I always kind of go with, just kind of a good starting point, is do you have any like rituals to like stay awake while you're on the road? Anything that you do that is always like able to help you stay awake?
I'm pretty well a tank when driving. My family, we've always been big road trippers.
Yeah. And
we have family out in Arizona, and so once I was able to drive, not when I was 16, because like no 16-year-old should be on like a major highway at any point in time ever. Like
of course,
pretty sure not even like an 18-year-old. The driving age should be raised. The drinking age should be lowered, and the driving age should be raised. I feel like you should be able to drink at 16, but you should be able to drive till you're 21. Because I feel like you should be able to handle a beer before we trust you with a car.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can kind of get on board with that.
What the fuck you mean kind of? Like, that's a foolproof thing.
Well, yeah, but also if all you, well, I don't know, if all
here's the other thing. You learn your limits. I'll tell you that much.
I guess you do have, what is that, 5 years?
Yeah, you got 5 years to figure out how long it takes you to get drunk.
So whenever you actually do have
to
so
whenever you actually do get behind the wheel, you're like, oh man, I better not have this 19th beer. My 19th beer is normally when things go downhill.
Right.
You know.
Well, that's good. That's funny.
Drinking is all about experience.
That's true.
So is driving, and so is drinking and driving. The only thing I might do is like if I'll talk to somebody, like if I can call and talk to somebody, that's nice. Or you know what, just fire up that early to mid 2000s emo. Just really get some Taking Back Sunday.
Yeah.
Maybe some Panic at the Disco, and just really belt.
Oh heck yeah!
Just really sing out. That'll keep you awake.
When there was a good minute when I was because I worked up here in Madison, lived in Edmond and everything. So when we go down to Othello's, I'd always drive, and then you'd go through my iPod and you'd just be making fun of me for everything because I still have Fall Out Boy. And
you had to be in a car with Madison. Or you volunteered to be in a car with Madison?
Just for like 45 minutes a day.
That guy sucks.
Nothing too long. But
that guy sucks. I was on a 10-hour drive with him from New Orleans.
Right.
I took him down to New Orleans, and I was on a 10-hour drive with him. And I told him the night before we're staying at Joe Cardosi's house.
Okay.
Part of Massive Fraud, part of a group of people that's making comedy, good art, good comedy,
right?
In New Orleans, him and Andrew Polk There's a lot of good comedians down there. I like that. I like that place a lot. So we're down there, and there's some people hanging out, and I turned in. I was like, Madison, we're getting up at 7 a.m. You know, we're getting up at 7. I'm gonna get you up at 7. Don't come in late. Like, go to bed soon. Was the gist. It was like midnight-ish.
Mm-hmm.
He fucking comes in, hammered at like 3. Like 3, like 2, 3, and I hear him because, you know, he's got all the grace of like a drunk bear. Like a sex-fueled giant sloth, and fucking just crashes into this blow-up mattress that we couldn't. It had like a subtle leak in it, so it was never all the way blown up. So it's very noisy.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he came in super late, so I wake him up, and he was like, I gotta get some sleep. He slept till Dallas, like 7 hours in a car, with a sleeping Madison out in that motherfucker. He drove the rest of the way, which was nice. I told him, I was like, in Dallas, you're driving the rest of the way.
Get those last 3 hours in so I can relax.
Yeah,
I did that. I had to. I drove from here to Michigan, here to Detroit, and then rode to someone from Detroit to fucking Rhode Island.
Okay.
And so, like, I've had to be the passenger for 10, 12 hours and stuff. And
if you're gonna switch off, it makes sense.
Right.
I just want someone to talk to. I get so bored, and then when someone else is sleeping in the car, you feel bad if you turn your music up too loud.
Right. Yeah.
I'm too polite. I'm too sweet. The inside of your room, did this used to be like a church nursery?
You would think it would be. I don't know. My friend Ariel owns the house. I just told this to Gog. I just had him on the earlier one.
Who the fuck is Gog?
Gogger, comedian, does the musician stuff. He does the Blue Note open mic on Mondays.
Okay.
9.
Anyway.
Either way, I moved in here either way, and yeah, it was like this. It was a child's room at one point, I'm assuming.
Clearly.
I've mentioned a couple times that it would be interesting to either take shrooms or drop acid and just sit in here.
Well, it'd be interesting if you had the room of a man, like a full adult.
I'd agree, but at the same time...
It'd be interesting. Who wants to fuck you in here? Like, what manic pixie dream girl wants to...
Absolutely nobody.
No one does.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is the worst.
Mm-hmm. I was dating a girl for a while, and she stayed here one night, and then we broke up about a month later. I didn't think about it until you just mentioned it. This is probably why.
Easily.
Yeah, could be.
Between this and your lack of charisma, holding on to a bird is going to be tough.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Always, you fucker. Oh man, that's funny. No, the one thing, and I talked to you about this a long time ago. One thing that I've been jealous about from you, jealous, envious, whatever you want to call it, is you're fucking quick, dude.
Oh,
I
have that's my dad. He insults people a lot.
Right.
What's his favorite? He used to tell me when I was in the 8th grade, and I was going to an 8th grade dance with a girl that was very pretty, and I requested that my father teach me about the birds and the bees. I went to him.
Wow. Okay.
Asking for this knowledge. His response was to tell me that I couldn't get laid if I was bedsheets. And then we didn't have to fucking talk. And like I wish I had sex that night and just given him a grandchild right then and there, and been like, yeah, if we'd had a conversation about this, you wouldn't be a grandfather.
That's funny.
My mom wishes I had a grandbaby when I was in the 8th grade, because that would have been her best shot right then, before I knew about condoms.
Right.
Because it's not gonna happen anytime soon now.
Right. That's funny. I joked with my friend. Well, actually, my roommate. I was joking with her. I said, "I think I'm gonna get a vasectomy." She's like, "Why?" I said, "Because I don't plan on having children. I don't want them."
Yeah.
Like,
you could just keep doing what you're doing now, where you're just not having sex.
Well, that's true too. But every now and then, there's a chance that it could happen.
That's an awful expensive procedure to just keep not getting laid.
Well, that's a good point too. I'll give you that. I didn't think about that.
Why don't you take the money you would have spent on the vasectomy and, take a girl out somewhere nice?
Well, for that to happen, I'd have to actually be around people to ask them.
Do you online date? Are you an online date? Are you on the Tinder?
I was. I'm not anymore.
Why not? What happened?
Nothing ever came from it.
Have you tried Bumble?
What's that?
Bumble's great. See, here I am in a committed relationship, still on top of the online dating community. Bumble is this app where the women have to make first contact. So there's the matching aspect of Tinder. You have to match.
Okay.
But the woman contacts first. If she doesn't contact you within 24 hours, then you're gone forever. So she takes the initiative, and so it lowers the creep factor.
That's true.
I haven't tried it because, again, seeing a girl, cannot emphasize enough, I'm not on Tinder or Bumble. I get in trouble on these podcasts. They're tough.
Understood.
So you might try that.
I'll look into it.
You're a good-looking man. You dress like a magician. You should be able to sweep a woman off her feet.
Which is funny that you mentioned that because tomorrow I'm doing magic at the at Bistro 46 for Ben's comedy show.
You do magic. You do music. Have you ever thought about just honing in on one thing and getting good at it?
Comedy's my goal right now. Everything else, shut the fuck up.
Come on.
I know. But no, you are right. It's one of those things that like you have, like I've got so many hobbies or so many things I want to do that
become a comedian magician. That way, when you hang yourself, we definitely know why.
That's good.
Andrew killed himself. Why did he kill him? Because he was a comedian magician. Yeah. Why? I almost killed him. I almost killed myself saying it.
That's funny. Well, I have thought about doing
killing yourself.
No.
No. Let's talk about it. How would you do it? If you had to kill yourself, how would you do it? Would you go pills? Would you be a coward?
Easily. I would bitch the fuck out. No, I don't know.
I couldn't hang myself because I don't like heights.
That's the weird thing about.
And I know you don't necessarily have to be up high to hang yourself, but at the same time, I feel like once I got on the ladder, I'd get kind of shaky. Right. And I'd be like, oh no.
I don't know.
I'm too afraid of guns, and I'm afraid that I'd miss. Like I put up here, but somehow I'd miss everything vital, and now I just have a blown out jaw, and I'm alive.
And you just got to deal with it the rest of your life.
Yeah, well, no, I mean I'd go again,
but painfully.
But what a painful 10 minutes.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah, what a painful 10 minutes.
Because after it happened, you would have to at least look in the mirror to go, oh fuck, and then
no, there's blood everywhere. You're vomiting out of your 2 jaw holes because it's gross, so you don't know how to handle it. Yeah, that'd be tough. That'd be tough.
Ooh, did you ever watch Case Closed when it was on Adult Swim?
No.
It was fun, a cool little anime. It was a dude that was like 17 soccer star, fucking Japanese dude.
It's anime.
It's anime,
yeah,
obviously.
Yeah.
But no, and then he gets like poisoned, turns into a little kid, and he's called Conan, and he solves little things.
What the fuck?
Because it was based on, it was kind of like Sherlock Holmes, Arthur.
Okay, get to the thing.
Either way, there's one of the first murders that he solves is there's this girl that kills her boyfriend on a roller coaster, and she gets a piano wire and a not a fish hook, but like kind of like an anchor, but something to like pull it on, and then like wraps it around his fucking neck, and then wraps the wire around his neck and throws the hook part on the track, so when they're going, severs his head.
What a clever broad.
I was like, that might be a fun way to go if it happened quickly.
That'd be a good time.
It'd be a quick.
I guess, yeah, it'd be quick.
So, it's like a.
What were we gonna talk about before suicide?
Oh, I don't know.
We're talking about you being a magician.
Yeah. And
I don't want to talk about suicide too much because then my mom's gonna text me.
She said that as if she's going to listen.
She is.
You think so?
She'll watch and listen to anything I post.
Okay.
But then she's gonna text me like, why do you have to talk about your penis so much? Why do you talk about us? Of course. Why do you say those things? Do you want to kill yourself? I'm like, no, I don't want to kill myself.
But it's funny to talk about, so why would I talk about it?
At times.
It can be.
It can be. You have to find the humor in the dark stuff.
Of course.
That's always important. Jay Whitecotton, that guy is the best at finding humor in the dark stuff. You ever? Mm-mm. He's down in Austin. He started out in San Antonio, which is just there's no culture or anything really in San Antonio, and so he built it all. And that guy he tells the darkest stuff, and he does it in such an engaging, incredible way. I've seen him so many times now, but I got to watch him at Cape Fear Comedy Festival in North Carolina, and his opening joke that night, I can't remember the specifics of it, but it was something about yeah, Gandhi was great, but did you know that he actively hated homosexuals? And to take this fact, this terrible, terrible known historical fact that Gandhi, while a hero to a nation, actively hated and like was cool with just murdering homosexuals, and then making that funny,
Right.
like making it funny, and then that's when he just starts to just like a kraken just drag you deeper into deeper water. That guy's incredible at finding the humor in the dark stuff. It just gets darker and it just gets better. It gets
Wow.
better as you go down. Uh,
And
yeah,
What was,
that
what was
guy's
his name
great.
again?
Jay Whitecotton. He's been here a few times. Anytime the Altercation tour comes through,
Okay.
normally he's on that. He's great, man. He's good. He's actually, I think he's featuring at the Looney Bin in February.
Okay. Ooh. Wonder what week? Because I'm gonna be there the third week of February.
Yeah, I don't know, but he's
Huh.
he's a funny guy, and his dark humor is just so great.
That's
It's
awesome.
it's so good anytime you can find someone that can do that.
Right. You got to go to, what was it, New Orleans a few times.
Yeah, I went a few times this year. I went once for Hell Yes Fest, and I just went once to do shows because I wanted to do it. And then we tried to do some shows in Dallas. Well, we did a show in Dallas with who said that? Andrew Woods kind of pointed us in the right direction down there. Met him, really really funny guy out of Dallas is Andrew Woods. Tyler Simpson. There's like a young crew of guys down there, guys and girls who are really kind of rallying around Dallas Comedy House, which has always been a pretty big mecca for improv there. But they're these younger people that are really buying into the stand up down there, and the venue, Dallas Comedy House, the organization, is buying into them and giving them opportunities to jump off and do well. And Andrew Woods, Tyler Simpson, those guys are really 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 funny. So they were able to get us like a bar show. I love that in any city you go to, bar shows, and they suck,
Right.
and they're great. We were at the one in Dallas, and it actually wasn't bad. The crowd wasn't bad. The host was really nice, and the audience wasn't listening at first because it's like an ambush. It's like you walk into a restaurant, and you think, oh, there's a lot of people here. Must be a good night, and then all of a sudden, some motherfucker gets on like, welcome to comedy night. And you're like, God damn it, I don't want to hear 13 dudes talk about rape and 12 women yell at 13 dudes for talking about rape.
Right.
Which is such an impossible scenario, because what comedy scene has such a 50-50 booking of men and women?
I didn't think about that.
That'd be
part.
amazing. That'd be incredible. But what scene does? And he's a good comic. He was a really nice guy. The audience wasn't listening, and so he just goes full like you can always tell when like a host or a comedian or someone that's like been in a city for a long time, or they've run a mic for a long time, and maybe the crowd isn't what they would like it to be, and they're not being as listening, and you can tell when they just kind of like lock in, and you're like, no, they're gonna do it, they're gonna go full suicide bomber, and they just berate the crowd.
Right.
He berated the crowd, and he was like, coming up to the stage, Madison Allen, and I was like, oh man, I can't wait to watch him swallow this spike. This is great. And Madison dug out of a hole, and actually ended up having a really good set. There were two guys right by the mic, like just eating. and Madison, he what's so great about him on stage is he just steers into the skid. He leans in, and he was like, what's up, guys? What are you eating? Looks good. Like, just immediately acknowledging that there's two dudes, centimeters away from the mic. They're just right there. They just chose to sit there. They didn't realize that was a stage.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Yeah, but I love that bar shows are the same everywhere. So we did the show in Dallas, and then we stayed at Andrew Woods' house and made him sandwiches. We took sandwiches, like stuff to make sandwiches in a cooler.
I remember seeing a Snapchat or a video of some shit like that y'all were doing.
Yeah, we just we figured it'd be cheaper, and it saved us money. We weren't spending money at gas stations because I wanted to save money for all the delicious, amazing food that's in New Orleans. So
we do have to talk about that too.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll get into it. So we just made sandwiches, and I had like breakfast stuff and like yogurt balls and granola and stuff. So we were able to eat out of that, and we bought like a case of water. So we were doing that while we were at gas. So instead of like buying like a burrito here, a soda here, or something like that, it kind of saves you money when you're traveling to just have like a cooler and some meats and cheeses. I'm trying to think of who told me to do that. It might have been Zach Smith, or it might have been someone in a band.
Right.
I can't remember because bands and comedians kind of have to live that same life. So we stayed at his place in such a sketchy part of Dallas. And I slept on a couch that we took the cushions out of, and Madison slept on a bed made out of the cushions.
Shit.
Which was nice. It was a good night of sleep. And then we got up and just finished the drive to New Orleans, which is such a great city. What's great about it is there's guys there's people there. Like there's nothing there. There was nothing there, and then what Joe Cardosi and Andrew Polk have done down there as Massive Fraud. Is incredible. Their monthly show Karate Fight lost its home venue that it was regularly filling up. I say selling out, it's a free show, but it was regularly selling out, filling up, standing room only. The venue just goes under, gives them hardly any notice, and now the show's gone in nomad mode, and whatever venue they put it at, they pack it out. It works.
Wow.
It's a brand at this point, and
it's got such a following that
they invest in like other shows, and it's their own thing. They film they film like sketches and lead-ins and such funny, and it's its own thing, and it kind of proves that I think what bogs down a lot of cities and a lot of comedies, like every show is just a straight stand-up show or just a showcase, and you need those, and those are good. But when you're creating something like really good and unique, and you're putting just a different spin on everything, it gets everyone kind of a little bit more interested.
Right.
And so they really kind of invested in the city. And then, of course, the great work that's done by Chris True, who actually puts on the Hell Yes Fest. It's so much fun. There's all sorts of different stuff. This year they had something called the Ha Ha Hackathon, where we got to pitch ideas for apps, and then developers built them, and then we presented them.
Holy shit, okay.
Yeah. So Bob Merle, who's a really good comic and also really handy at app developing, helped me develop an I Was There app, which would help you have an excuse for when it was basically like a Mad Libs that would help you make up a story about how you were at 9/11 or Pearl Harbor or anything really. And we got to present them and be
so you couldn't
silly and dumb. Yeah.
But so you were late to I was late to the meeting because I was...
No, that's not good. No, you want to say that you were at terrible tragedies.
Well, no. That's what I'm saying though. Is like I was late to the meeting because of this terrible tragedy, or
no? You just want to tell people you were there at Katrina at 9/11.
Okay.
Yeah, it's how to tell people that you were there. That you were part of history.
Kind of like checking in on Facebook, but
kind of, yeah. Having your own story.
Okay.
For how things happen, but yeah, I love that city. The food's great. Food's always great. I get mad now when I'm at places that are like authentic po' boys.
Really? No.
They're not. You go one state over and they fuck it up. How are you going to give me one all the way over here?
Wow.
It's mad. I get mad about fat people things.
What's your favorite place to go to when you're down there?
I don't know. I still like just going to different places. I think the best thing I think the best thing I had there this last time. I tell you that we went to like Superior Seafood Company for their happy hour, and they had these frozen French 75s, and then there was just oysters. I like just eating raw or char grilled oysters because they're fresh down there. They're good. Anyway, I had like too many of those frozen French 75s, and then I had to go do a show at the House of Blues. Leon Blanda, who is a super hardworking, great guy, good comedian, puts on great shows, like works his ass off. It's a mostly tourists come into that room, and I was blackout, and I did not have a good set. I think I asked where someone was from, and he said Connecticut, and then I yelled, "Fuck Connecticut!" And then I was like, "Where are you from?" And some guy was like, "Alaska." I was like, "Oh, where God sends people to die." So as you can tell, I was just spewing gold, just shitting great comedy all over these tourist faces.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, it was real bad. Real terrible. It was real bad, yeah. Yeah.
I, kind of, you were saying taking the, the sandwiches and stuff. I did that once. I pre-made like 4 or 5 sandwiches, and I was going to Denver But like what I've started doing, if it's like
Don't pre-make them; they get soggy. Just have the ingredients on hand.
soggy, well, no, how?
Well, like you put all the, if you put like mayo or mustard on
Right,
it, and
yeah,
you just
yeah,
leave
yeah.
it wrapped up for so long, it gets bad.
Well, also the thing was just like I wanted to be able to just grab a sandwich while I was on the road. Like I don't stop.
Oh, we gotta stop for gas.
Well, but that's it. But I don't have enough time. There's not enough time while the gas is running. Because usually what I do is before I leave, I usually go and get 3 6-inch Subway sandwiches. And then because usually I had to go to Vegas twice this year and then San Diego, so I went that way 3 fucking times. I went west 3 times. And then like when you're doing that, you stop in freaking Amarillo, stop in Albuquerque, and then stop in Flagstaff, and then basically every 4 hours, which is pretty much exactly where my truck stops. But then every 4 hours, I stop and get gas, go to the bathroom, eat my sandwich right as I'm leaving. So like that's the way I do it, and it's worked out pretty well. And it doesn't.
That's fair.
And it hasn't gotten too soggy. I had one that was just like, yeah. So it's if you need a future travel thing, if you're not opposed to Subway, that is.
I fucking hate Subway sandwiches. Not for the kitty diddling.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's its own thing. You're not supposed to.
Well, then Jimmy John's.
No.
McAllister's.
Yeah, because I want sandwiches that are loaded with mayonnaise and overpriced.
McAllister's.
Fuck mayonnaise. Fuck mayonnaise.
Well, then, but at least McAllister's, you get sweet tea.
Why do you just have silly putty and hard candy? Speaking of kitty diddling, you have silly putty, hard candy, and alcohol like you're about to film some sort of illegal thing.
You want to know specifically why I've got that, or are you just fucking with me?
No, I don't want to know. That's the thing, because as soon as I know, I'm a fucking accessory.
No, you're not.
Yeah, no, I am. That's how the law, look how small this bracelet is. You tell me you didn't snatch these turquoise beads off some Indian girl you kidnapped?
Victoria got those for me when she was in Indonesia.
I don't trust the shit out of any of this. I'm just seeing this in a whole different light. All these fucking tie bars. Mm-hmm. Why don't you just buy one? Why do you have?
Because every time at JCPenney's, whenever you get one of their J. Ferrar ties, it comes with one.
Oh, J. Ferrar. It sounds like a car, but it isn't. That's great.
But no, the silly putty, every year for Christmas, my mom gets me silly putty in my stocking. It's just she's done it since I was like 10. It just hasn't stopped.
Your mom seems like a sweet lady.
She is.
How disappointed is she in you?
She's not disappointed. She's very scared for me.
Does she want you to be on Chopped like all the other good chefs?
No, she just wants me to have insurance.
That's not a bad thing to have.
No, it's not. But my dream doesn't really constitute me getting insurance right off the get-go.
You get insurance. It's not crazy. It's
No.
It's not cheap. It's not crazy. So what else? What else can we talk about?
Well, one thing that I've been asking people is, on your travels, have you gotten pulled over at all?
Yeah,
have you had some run-ins with the police?
Just once. Come back from Kansas City. Peter Lyrene and Chance Dibben got us a show in Kansas City at an Alamo Draft House to a packed room of 7 people. But they were very fun and very sweet, and we got free food, and the manager was very nice, and they paid us, which was great.
That's really good. Yeah,
It was really good. And then on the way back, I was just trying to get home because I was tired, and we were going up to Kansas City, then coming back, and then staying the night, and then going down to Dallas.
So a 6 hour drive?
Ish, yeah. And so I'm just kind of gunning at like 3 in the morning, and or like 2 in the morning, and it might not even been that late, but either way, the Kansas guy kind of pulls me over, and I was just going a little bit over, and so he let me off with a warning. He was really nice. I don't know. I've never had like, I don't have like a horror story.
Crazy cop, yeah.
With cops, yeah. No, I don't trust them, but I don't have like a horror story with them.
Right, yeah. Okay, I forgot to say earlier, if you would like a drink, I have strawberry watermelon and then kiwi strawberry. Your decision.
That's okay. I'm good.
You don't want? All right, cool. I'm gonna roll with one.
I have just regular water.
Okay, that's fine. I bought these today and.
Yeah. Like a true Edmund soccer mom drinking flavored sparkling water.
I don't give a fuck, dude. These are amazing.
I think I just hate Edmund. I think that's probably. I feel like one of those is in every SUV in Edmond as we speak.
There's a good chance that it is. My little sister turned me onto it when I was in Midwest City, so That's
Do you have any other siblings? Or just one little sister?
No. Technically, if you want to count steps and halves, I'm one of 10.
Do you want to count steps and halves?
Will.
Do we want to hash out your relationships with your family?
No,
right
it
now?
has nothing to do with that. It's just like I don't have any full.
If you had to
blood
kill one of
siblings.
your siblings, which one would it be?
My stepbrother Chad.
Kill, marry, fuck your siblings.
Okay, I can actually do this one.
No, please don't.
I've got step siblings. They're not.
That's still weird. That's weird. Yeah, don't do that.
No.
Don't do that and then publish this.
No, I wouldn't do that. I would have, but no. No, yeah, I'm kind of like 1 to 10 with steps and halves and everything. So
yeah, Christmas sounds like a fucking nightmare.
well, it's.
Is that why you're doing so many of the zany things? You're trying to stand out amongst the
I fucking guess so. I used to joke with my mom.
Every time you come home from Christmas, I'm a musician. I'm a magician. I'm a comedian. You just keep doing something.
I'm a chef. Yeah. No, I joke with my mom a while back because every now and then when I like at Christmas or Thanksgiving or any family gathering, like I'll try and talk and everyone fucking just talks over me. Which has been the way it is in fucking actual life as well. It's not just a family thing.
Yeah, no.
But so
I don't listen to you when you talk.
I'm not surprised, and the fact that people listen to this is even shocking me.
Are people listening to it? Are you tracking your analytics?
Yeah. The last couple have dropped off a little. The one I did with Brad Chat, I think, is like 35 listens or something like that. But then
he's got a lot of pull.
Right.
That Brad Chat Porter. That's a name.
Yeah. But I did either way. So I joked with my mom or whatever, and I said that the reason I do one-liners is because I'm only used to talking for like 12 seconds. So that's all. That's all. That's the only time I have to speak, and I have to do my joking and get the hell on and everything. But yeah, 10 siblings. That's where I'm kind of sitting.
That's awful. You were talking about I'm an only child. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You were talking about road stories. I'll tell you. This is the craziest thing that's ever happened to me when I'm not in like home.
All right, cool.
So the first time I did Hell Yes Fest last year, afterwards I got to do a few cities with Leon Blanda, who I talked about, and Dave Ross.
That was a great show over at VZD's.
Yeah. The first time he came through, we met and I was able to just kind of meet him and help put that show together. And he's so funny. And he's so good, and his podcast. After all 35 of you get done listening to this,
yeah,
you should go download some Terrified with Dave Ross.
I have yet to do that yet. I fucking wanted to.
It's so good, and he's so great. He's sweet and he's kind and he's nice and he's just a really great guy.
He was a solid dude because I came into that show not thinking or whatever, and I was just like, I'm coming, and then I just walked in, and I didn't pay or anything, and then afterwards, I remember because I took you home, and then I went back to everyone was hanging out at Speakeasy.
Oh yeah, and then you talked to him like a lot.
Huh?
You talked to him like a ton.
I don't think that happened.
I didn't. Out.
I didn't talk to him. What are you talking about? You weren't there. You didn't come to Speakeasy with us.
That's true. Hey, well, I know.
No. I'm not like trying to.
You get
point fingers.
Don't get weird with me.
I'm not gonna. No, I remember because I dropped you off because I think you had work the next day or something.
Yeah. And
then, but no, we all went to Speakeasy and he was just telling all of his stories about throwing the holy fuck shows.
Yeah.
And because I didn't buy a ticket and fucking Madison kept bringing it up, just fucking with me or whatever. And then I go, I apologize, sir, talking to Dave or whatever. I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, let me grab you a beer or whatever. And then so like I inadvertently paid him via a beer or two. So I was like, all right, my conscience is a little. But sorry, yeah, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, so we left New Orleans and we did like Houston and Austin. Then we came up to Oklahoma City, and then he went to Denver after that. I think him and Leon both went to Denver. Anyway, so we were staying in Austin at this guy's house. I can't even remember his name right now. Really nice guy for letting us stay over, and it was just really nice of him. Then. So we stay that night, and then the next morning we're up and we're kind of chatting, and we kind of have the day to hang out, and we're looking at videos, and we were looking at this one. Dave showed us this one by Murder Fist called like Rehearsal Dinner. And it's really good. You should look it up. It's a funny video by a really great group, Murder Fist. And And then the guy was like, "Hey, can you guys want to see a video that I made?" And we're like, "Yeah, you can't say no because you just shared your home with us.
Right.
It'd be rude if we were like, no, fuck your art." So he was like, "Okay," and he was on my computer and he went to a private Vimeo account, which I was I was a little like, "Oh, it's a private account. This could get weird." And he pulls up this video and it's called "When You Call Me That Smile." Is the name of the video. And I don't know if it's been published since. I don't think it has, because I feel like I would have known about it.
Right.
Like, I feel like once it was in the public domain, I'd have been like, oh, it's out and other people can share. Like, because I feel like now it's like this story that I'm telling that everyone's like, that's not real.
Right.
That's
okay.
not true. You didn't see your greatest fear unfold before your eyes over the course of 7. It was like a 7-minute video. First of all, those things we were watching like funny videos and sketches, so you want them like 2 minutes ish, and then this thing's like a monster. It's like 5, which that's not that long, but it is, and you're just like, oh, okay. So it opens up. It's in black and white, which is fun, and it opens up with like him in a field with some cattle. I laughed for 2 reasons. 1, things felt weird. I needed to break some tension. 2, it looked like he was trying to make fun of like college art films, and I'm all up for making fun of pretentious bullshit. So I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Then it's like him in a field with some cows for a while, and then you shift, and it's a person in a gorilla suit on a stage, and there's like a cardboard city, and an Asian gentleman in a tux is watching him through like opera glasses, and I was like, this is getting weird. All right, I don't mind. This is cool. I should say like about a minute in, he was like, hey, by the way, like you see my dick in this, and I was like, oh, that's fine. Like we're all like we've all had dicks, seen a dick. That's not gonna send me to the hills. That's whatever. And so there's the thing with the ape. Then there was a scene where he is dressed as like a female Indian, like a Pocahontas type.
Okay.
And then 2 women are dressed as like cowboys with like little pop guns. He has like a little bow and arrow, and then he's like crying, and the cowboy's being mean to him. And I was like, okay, that's still weird. But you're cool with it. And then it goes to like him in a bed, and I was like, oh, we're about to see his dick. And it like shows him in the shower, and there he is, full view. And like, this is an attractive man. Like he had a good piece on him. And I even made a comment. I said, congrats to the missus. Like you're a good looking man. That's a nice bit of equipment on you. You're a beautiful man. And then it goes to him in the bathtub, and this is where like things go south. So when he's getting in the tub, he did this cool thing where it shows him like coming out of the water, but it was done in reverse. Like they filmed him going in and then showed him coming out. So when he came out of the water, he was completely dry.
That's cool. Okay. Yeah.
Cool effect. Also, this thing was beautifully shot, beautifully edited. Like this was not him like setting up a camera and doing some shots. And if it was, he needs to be in Hollywood. Like he needs to be a professional cinematographer if he did all this himself. But my assumption is there was a crew, there were people with lights. Like this is very beautifully shot. This is very beautifully done. This is a good-looking video. I feel like that's important to say.
Okay, you're good.
So he's in a bathtub, and now he's in a bathtub, and like food is floating out of the water, and he's eating it, and that's gross because like a bathtub is like a filth cauldron, like a warm filth cauldron. And I mean, I like baths. I think baths are relaxing, but if like an apple floated out of this bathtub and then he shows him eating it, like that's no.
Right.
No. Like that apple just soaked in my grundle sweat. Like I don't need that in my mouth. I don't want.
Of course.
I don't want to taste me. There's like an apple, and then there was like a plate of like meat and bread, like a roll, and he ate that, and that was weird. And then this, so the whole thing's in black and white, and then this vial pops up, and it's bright green. It's the only thing with any color, and I was like, that's a cool effect. Is that milk? And he goes, yeah, that's milk, because it looked just like milk, and it was like in a little like round potion thing, like it almost looked like a video game like potion almost. And he drinks it, and then we move to a shot that's directly above him. And so you see him in a bath. There's no bubbles, which makes no sense and ruins all validity to me. Like baths are there for bubbles. Shot right above his head, and you see him laying with like flaccid penis and balls in the water, and then he begins to just vomit down his chest, and it looked real. If it was fake, is good fake vomit, because like it looked like there were flecks of bread and like stuff you just eaten in there. But and the vomit is bright green. It maintains its bright greenness in post. There was post on this. This is a beautifully. I cannot tell you how beautiful this video is.
You can't stress how good enough
there was post on it. Vomiting, and then there's like just a close up shot of like vomit swirling around his dick and balls. And I was like, that's not hey my dick is in this. That's hey I vomit on my dick in this, which is a totally different thing to tell someone. Like, if you're like, hey, there's this video with my dick in it, they'd be like, oh, I've always wanted to see your dick. This is great. What a coincidence. But if you're like, hey, there's this video where I vomit all over my dick, people might be like, whoa!
Right, of course.
Whoa!
Understandably.
That's not the end of the video, though. Because as you're reeling from that, it shows him, like, in a mirror, and then he takes, like, a makeup sponge to his face, and I audibly said no. I remember that. And I was the only person talking. Everyone else is making looks, but I'm like, somebody do something. Like, and so I saw this, and I was like, oh, no, right? And then the next shot is him in blackface, like full blackface, and like a wig and some clothes, out on a street corner, like out in public, like this, like moving around. And then you go from there, and there's like a shot of him still in blackface with like a bucket of chicken and a jacket walking. And then 3 clowns, one of whom is a midget, confront him in an alley. He leans down and smiles at the midget clown. The midget clown punches him. There is a gorgeous Citizen Kane-like shot of a bucket of chicken flying in the wind, as if all of our humanity has crashed to the surface. Then there's mugshots of everyone, and then it's a him still in blackface, missing a tooth, getting his mugshot, and then it fades to black and says, when you call me that, smile, and then it flashes, Hail Satan, real fast. And that's the whole video. So we watch this video, and then we get in the car to leave. And it was like we all saw each other, like, you know that scene in The Shining where the person in the dog suit is sucking someone's dick?
I haven't seen The Shining.
Okay, well, it's in there. It's like we all walked in on each other getting our dick sucked by someone in a dog suit, and now we were in a car together and we had to talk about it. And Dave immediately was like, because it was his buddy, and still, what a nice guy for letting us stay over. I don't want to say like the guy's not a shitbag. Like he lent his house to some strangers.
Right.
And Dave was like, I am so sorry. Like he immediately was like, I don't know what that video is. I don't know. And we're like, I'm like my hands were kind of. I was very nervous holding the wheel. I had been through a thing. Like we were just like, what the fuck? I was like, we stayed. Like, what if he killed us? Like what? We don't know now. I don't know who he is. And we went somewhere else, and we were talking to somebody that knew him, and Dave was like, hey, have you ever seen this weird video that so-and-so made? And he was like, no, did you? And we were like, yeah. He's like, I think you guys might be the only people that have seen it. We're like, holy fuck. It's the crazy. It's like 7 days after you see it, you die. Like, it's insane. That's the weirdest. I wish there was a better conclusion than we all saw a weird video, but it was like life-altering. We all did jokes about it. At the next town.
Shit.
Like, at the next town, we were all talking about this video, like, in peace. Like, it's like we're all giving our survivor perspective. And that's when it happened.
God damn.
Yeah, it was, that's kind of the weirdest thing that's ever happened. I guess the only thing, like, weirder than that's ever happened,
that's crazy.
Joe and Andrew, the first night I was staying in New Orleans this last time, we were drinking really heavily. We were all drinking a bunch. And I got really drunk. And Joe wanted to film this segment called Drunk Interviews.
Right.
And it doesn't exist because he had a computer problem. His hard drive crashed. This video, and I guess another one of them got deleted. But they drunk interviewed me. I said some pretty terrible things. But my favorite thing that I said was they asked me, who would you let suck your dick, Jackie Chan or Jet Li? And I said Jet Li because, like, you know, it's gonna be crisp, it's gonna be good, it's gonna be pretty innovative, but it's gonna be like a good, you know, solid full throttle dick sucking. But with Jackie Chan, like, yeah, is he gonna suck your dick in a way that no one's ever sucked your dick in a movie before? Of course he is. But then you got to stand there and do like 60 minutes of bloopers. And I don't have that kind of time or staying power. Who does? You know, all of a sudden a bucket goes flying at my dick and he looks at the camera like that's not cool, Jackie. I wish that had gone public. I think I said some disparaging things about Aziz Ansari, but I think I was just mad at something.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, that was I don't get too crazy when I'm on the road. I like to go drink.
Right.
I like to do the same things I do when I'm here. You know, I like to go drink and be around people that I like, and not be around people that I don't like.
Right. I've kind of noticed over the last couple of years about you is just you've got a crazy passion for comedy. Like just very like not in a bad way or anything,
Yeah.
but like you're very I don't want to say specific, but very you care about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, comedy's hard. I think
Right.
the thing that gets overlooked in comedy is it's hard. I think so many people are like, oh, I'm just gonna write some jokes and go up there, and then like for most people like that's fine, but like comedy's hard. Like being good at it is even harder. And
Right.
I don't even know that I'm good at comedy. You know, I've been doing it for like 6-ish years, and I don't think I'm good yet.
Right.
Like you know, you're still finding that voice, and comedy's just really, really hard,
No.
and it's tough to keep your spirits up because if you look at the big picture too much, it all feels inevitable. It all
Yeah.
feels like worthless. You know, it doesn't feel like you're going to get anywhere because, like, you know, big picture, there are just some funny people.
No shit.
There's so many funny people like in the country, and like there's so many great comedians in like small cities and towns that we've never heard of and that we're never going to hear of. You know, they're these local legends, these local heroes.
Right.
They're such good comedians just for one reason or another. Like we're never going to hear them. The world's never going to hear them. You know, and I guess we're all lesser for it. And then there's just so much garbage, and there's so many like garbage people with garbage attitudes just spewing their garbage on a nightly basis and getting propped up by other garbage people.
Yeah.
You know, and there's the whole gamut. You know, there's shitty people, there's great people. There's people that are just like, I'm just here because it's a thing to do and it gets me away from the missus. And you can't disparage those people either, you know.
Right.
Because it's just as valid. I think for me, I wanted to be on Broadway. You know, I wanted to be on Broadway for forever. And you know, music is a thing that I've always done. You know, you know, musical theater is what I was going to study in college, and then I was going to go to New York, and then like there we go. That's what I wanted to do. And coming to the realization that wasn't going to happen was really tough. And so comedy.
Why'd you come to the realization of that? If
Just because like at some point you got to come to terms with your God-given ability. Like.
Oh, you mean okay?
Yeah, I'm not going to be on Broadway. Yeah, at this point. Who knows? The world's weird, but probably not going to happen. Can't dance, and I'm fat.
I'll give you the dance thing.
So
okay.
Comedy is just like an outlet for me. It's art. Yeah, I'm a creative type.
Right.
You know, it's dumb. Like it's dumb, but it's art. You know, like with mine and Heather's show every month, we do dumb stuff. You know, our marquee moment in November was putting a frozen pumpkin pie down Steve Patchen's pants. And that's dumb. But it works. It's funny. It's different. We made him do a set with a frozen pie down his pants. It's very dumb. But at the same time, I look at him like, I'm proud of that. I'm glad we made that decision. You know, it's just a thing that you have to find.
Right. Yeah. What kind of threw you onto because you was it improv first or did you?
No, I did stand up first.
Stand up first?
Yeah.
What kind of made you just want to get on stage?
What made me want to do it was I had already lied to a bunch of people and told them that I had done stand up and I hadn't, and I was like, I better come clean and just do it. And so I did the first set at the Looney Bin on a Wednesday night after I just gotten back from a flight to South Carolina. I was in South Carolina seeing a friend for a little while and like on a school break. Mm-hmm. It might have been over the summer, and then I got back and just did it, and it wasn't great, but wasn't bad. Like nobody booed. And then I did it again. And then Brad Chad Porter told me I should go to Othello's on Tuesday nights. So I went, and I sucked. It was so bad. I ate a submarine-sized dick at Othello's, like just pure, just silence. Just really heart-crushing silence. It took me like 3 years to have a good set at Othello's, I think. It may have been longer than that. It may have been like 4. I remember what it was. I did a set, and the entire time, I didn't hear the ice maker. Like the audience was laughing and I couldn't hear the ice machine, and I came to that realization off stage. I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't hear the ice machine." That must have been a good set.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
it is right the fuck there. So yeah,
think about it. If you ever do a set at Othello's and you don't hear that ice machine, you might have just had yourself an all timer.
Right. One of my favorite sets that I did there was It was in February, right before they did the Othello's contest or whatever, and was sitting there and I just did a set, no big deal. I just kind of, I didn't even, and there was like very few people in the audience. There's like 3 people at the bar. I didn't think it was anything. And then I went back to the back, and this is before I even knew who Jen was.
Yeah.
And I just sat there, and then she just goes, I just went to the end of the bar, because she's sitting at the end of the bar judging.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just grabbing a drink or something, and Lee came down. I was waiting for him to finish the drink, so I grabbed one. And then she goes, yeah, in the contest, don't do so much anti-Jewish stuff. And I was like, huh? What? She goes, yeah, you're in. I'm like, fucking, who are you? I was like, I had no idea.
Oh yeah.
And then she introduced herself or whatever.
She's sweet.
And,
She's sweet. She's very nice.
oh, she's awesome.
And they care, which is great.
Right.
When you find a venue that cares, it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's the other thing is like sometimes you can't focus too much on the small stuff in comedy either, or else you'd be telling people every day how hard they crushed it at a mic. Yeah. Yeah, that's not what mics are for. Mics are for work.
For building, for getting better. Yeah.
If you're crushing every mic, you're either insanely good at coming up with new material, or you're not properly using the mic for what it's for. You know, which is working on new bits.
I've seen a few people. You see, that's the thing too. Like, I see people go up and do new stuff, or not new stuff. Do older stuff all the time, which is one of those things that like. Kind of like if you're, kind of like what you're saying. If there's people just to come out to just have fun, you know, whatever, just to do it because it's a thing.
I think the intent is the big thing in that. Like Zach Smith, really smart. He there was like a 6-month period, and he'll talk about it, where he was doing the same 5 at every show, at every mic. He was doing the same 5, and now you give him a 5-minute light. There it is. It's a money 5. It closes well. It lands well. Every joke does well because he worked on it for 6 months, and he was like, "That's my 5. If I'm having a bad set, and if he's having a bad set, and he digs himself out, he's got that 5. I don't mind that if there's intent behind it.
Right? No.
And I mean, you can sit and judge what someone's doing in comedy, but there's no roadmap.
Right?
No. There's no like ladder up. Like we don't know how it's gonna happen. You know, you're not gonna pop off in Oklahoma City.
Right.
Yeah, as far as like, you know, trying to do it.
Well, and I wasn't saying that. I wasn't saying that it's a bad thing either. I'll take that back. No, I wasn't saying it's a bad thing. It's just they keep doing a same set or whatever, doing very familiar jokes, repetitiously or whatever. But like, when it comes to stuff, it's hit or miss. Like if I do a joke or whatever and it works, like if it works like 2, maybe 3 times, I usually call it good, which is bad. I know that because I know that I need to work on certain aspects of whatever.
I don't think it's bad. I mean, you know, your process is your process. If you're doing mostly one-liners and a joke lands, I mean, yeah, there you go. That's the joke. But you know, if you're trying to incorporate that into a larger part of it or something, you know, I would keep working into that larger part. Yeah,
it's one of those things too. How do you feel when it comes to like venues? Because when it comes to Othello's, every now and then if I have a bad set, it pisses me off because I'm like, shit, I had a bad set, but I still know this is funny.
You're supposed to have bad sets there. I mean, you're gonna have bad sets. Everybody has bad sets.
Right.
Every you know, death taxes, bad sets. Like those are guaranteed.
Right.
And you're supposed to. You're at an Italian restaurant where nobody, even though it's been like this for years,
on a Tuesday,
nobody knows there's comedy that night.
Right.
You're at an Italian restaurant on a Tuesday. You have to be aware of that. It's not like comedy savvy people are just are going in for the goddamn pasta. But you should be able to make anyone laugh. Like as a good comic, you should be as accessible, you know, in, you know, some art neighborhood in Brooklyn as you are in a barn in Wyoming. Like you should be able to make your comedy work anywhere. Right. But at the same time, like it's a mic. It's there for you to record yourself, hear it come out of your mouth, and work on it from there. If you're mad at yourself for every bad set, like you're gonna end up making good on that suicide. You know. It's gonna happen. We're gonna be talking about Andrew Rose, comedy magician, suicide victim.
Right.
You can't. You got to find your balance.
Well, no. And I wasn't saying that like it pisses me off in the sense of like, dang it, I feel like I could have done better. But then if I'll flip it or whatever, and I go to Looney Bin where it's a place for comedy, that's exactly what it's for, or whatever. And then I do good. I feel like to some degree I like justify like, well,
yeah.
You know.
I mean, there's stuff that's gonna work at Looney Bin. There's stuff that's not gonna work at Looney Bin that's still funny. You know,
right.
There's stuff that works at comedy clubs that might not work out of there. That's still funny. There's stuff that, you know, it's funny. That's the other thing about comedy is like it's subjective. It's subjective.
Yeah.
It is art. Like, you can look at a painting and you can be like, man, that's a cool painting. I could never make that painting. But at the same time, I could be like, I still don't like it.
Right.
Like, I acknowledge that it's really good art. I acknowledge that it's good and someone worked hard, but it doesn't move me. Just like I can watch comedians that are good comics, but that comedy might not be for me.
Right.
And
right.
so, you know, I can appreciate the art that's taking place and the work that goes into it.
Right.
But it might not necessarily be
Yeah.
something that's going to send me to the floor.
There's been a handful of people, like, I was going through Netflix. I was like, oh, they got a special. I'll watch this. And I always give myself, like, 5-10 minutes. If I don't like it past 5-10, I'm probably not going to like the rest of it. But it might be a bad way to judge it, but with me, it works. You know, so or whatever. And I was just like, I probably went through about 7 specials. I was just like, what the fuck? This is just not good. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I can't. I mean, they have a fucking special on Netflix. That's not nothing. I mean, it's something or whatever. So, but yeah. What are this kind of bring it more home or whatever? What are some of your like favorite local eateries?
Oh, my favorite local place to eat?
Yeah.
Oh boy,
I know you got a list on that one.
Boy,
What's that Mexican restaurant over on by District House?
Chiltepes. It's not Mexican. It's Salvadoran and Guatemalan. You can get enchilada. I hate that they have to have they have Tex-Mex stuff because they have to because
Right.
people are so fucking afraid of new experiences. But I go there a lot by myself. A lot. I eat by myself a bunch because I like it. I get the pupusas, no beans, which are these delightful things. They're like little masa cakes, and then they put like pork and cheese in the middle of them, and then they grill them on the flat top till they're crispy, and then you cut it. It's like a pancake full of good stuff, and like a spicy slaw, and then they have their different dips. And yeah, I love Chiltepes. That place is great. Man, what else have I really been loving? Pho Kuong, not Pho Lenoir. And I'll fight Zach Smith on this.
Oh, the place over on 23rd?
Yeah, not Pho Lenoir. Although Pho Lenoir is great, I'll eat there with Zach Smith. If I'm going by myself or I, get to pick a venue, Pho Kuong, the greenhouse on Classen.
Classen and...
I don't know what the cross street is.
Okay.
It's a bright green house structure. That's my place. That's my pho place. That's the place that I prefer to get pho from, which everyone in Oklahoma City has a different pho opinion, which is so great.
Right.
I love that we live in a city where we can argue about the better pho. The pho place. It's pretentious, but it's nice.
Yeah.
I like those places, and I love Bev's.
Beverly's
Pancake
House. Oh, yeah.
I like to go to the bar in the morning by myself, get some blueberry pancakes, or get a nice big chicken fried steak and just be fat and just wallow in it. Maybe try to strike up a conversation with a 65-year-old, see how long we can talk before he brings up Obama. It's a nice way to spend a Sunday morning.
Yeah, me and Andy Woodhull went there for breakfast before we came into the podcast a month ago, I guess it was. But no, it's Beverly's always our place to go. After this is funny. Did you ever go to Greenhouse? The little dance club hookah joint that was over on Classen.
Yeah, I went to school with the guy that owned it.
Right. We used to go there in fucking 2010. It was the summer after my fucking freshman year in college. Okay. And we were like, fuck yeah, no parents, we got jobs. Woo! Just our fucking little party time or whatever. Not even drinking. Nothing like crazy, just a hookah or whatever. It's not the big deal. And then we'd always go to Beverly's afterwards. We'd be there till like 4 a.m. just talking all that fun shit. But yeah.
My little brother in college would do a lot of his studying at Bev's, and he gave a graduation ticket to one of the waitresses that always took care of him late night.
Wow.
And she came. He was like, you're a very big part of my college experience. I'd like you to watch me graduate.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, he's a giant sweetheart. He's a big sweet pea.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I like those places. I like food.
I'm right there with you, dude. There's been a shit ton of places that we've been trying out on the road, doing the World Series just because we're everywhere. It's just like all these little fucking. There's one place. Oh, fuck, what was it? It was in Rochester, Minnesota, and what was the name of the place? Dooley's. It was this tiny little bar, and they had fantastic fucking appetizers that like they had like half price apps up until like 2 a.m.
Oh, that's nice.
Between like 10 to 2 or something like that.
That's
after a
always
certain
nice.
time. And it was nice. And then we're there and everything. And then like they only did it was like Monday through Friday though. We went there on Saturday night or whatever, and they weren't doing it. And people were like, "This is fucking bullshit!" Like we're just like, you gotta just roll with the fucking the punches and everything. But we brought up so much food stuff like on the podcast, just Oklahoma based. Zach brought up the pho, and then I blame the Thunder in a good way, but fucking 23rd Street, Jesus Christ!
Oh yeah,
everything down there.
It's all good stuff. It's nice to see neighborhoods get developed. I love Empire Slice House, but I hate it because I used to do my laundry there. Chinese guy owned that building. It was a laundromat. And me and my 2 roommates, we would, when I was in school, we'd wake up, we'd go buy like a 6-pack or like a 12-pack at the convenience store, go into the laundromat because we'd all have our week's worth of laundry to do, and then, study, smoke. The guy, like, we would sometimes, like, smoke weed, and he didn't care. Or, whatever. So we'd go in there, drink, smoke, do laundry, do homework. Is a nice way to start a Sunday. And while I do love incredible pizza, I have to go all the way to Western to wash my clothes now. It's a little annoying.
Right.
You forget, but like a few years ago, you could get stabbed in the Plaza District.
See, I didn't know that.
Like a few, let's see, I got here in 2000. Oh God, like 2006. And the Plaza, that there wasn't even called the Plaza District. It was just, there was a convenience store on 16th Street. There was a convenience store, Mexican grocery store, Bad Granny's, and the Plaza Theater. That was it. There wasn't a plaza. And Chiltepes was there too, but they were an old rundown building, and people were scared to go in there.
But it was still a restaurant?
It was still there. Same food too. Everything was the same. It just looked like shit from the outside.
Did you go there back then?
No. No, because I was never on. I was never on 16th Street because you could get bad Chinese food in a 40 at that convenience store, but you could also just get stabbed. Like it was not a good neighborhood.
Right.
They were like like shitbag slumlord apartments, and like the housing was garbage. You could get cheap housing. A bunch of students used to live over there. Now I looked at like an apartment. It's like $900 a month.
Yeah.
Just because of the property and everything. Of course, we bitch about $900 a month. If you ever talk to someone from like a bigger city, they're like, $900 a month?
Well, hell, I was downtown. I lived on 15th and Robinson, just like 2 streets down from south of fucking Byron's Liquor, just right there. And mine was $615 a month, but that was kind of like all bills paid. And then they bumped me up a fucking $100.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's why I moved here.
Okay.
I was like, I'm not.
So since we're coming down to the end of the year, what are like some tangible comedy goals for you in 2016? What's some stuff you would like to do?
I would like to be able to get a good handful of feature length sets.
Okay.
That's kind of one of my goals.
Okay.
I want to be able to do that. And
how are you gonna do that?
Might possibly have to book a couple of my own shows.
Okay.
Most likely the best way around it.
Yeah.
I'm doing the World Series again, traveling with them.
That'd be nice.
So I'm gonna get a shit ton of stage time with that, kind of across the country and everything, and then also different. That's what I'm looking for. Groups of people, different. You know what I mean? What's the word I'm fucking looking for? Whenever they like do a show, different demographics of people and stuff, and kind of be able to gauge my stuff and get a little better. I'm pretty sure I've got time wise. I just haven't done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know until you know.
Yeah, kind of like the show that we all did at fucking Speakeasy with me, you, Brett, fucking Madison, Brian. Just that one show. It was a while ago.
Okay.
But that was like one of my first like 10-minute sets.
Okay.
And I fucking wigged out about that. I was like, I was nervous as hell. And then.
Well, you don't know you can't do 10 minutes until you get on stage, and you can't do 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you never realize it. If you realized it ahead of time, you wouldn't have said you could do 10 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
And then did that now. Luckily, I've got to do Looney Bin enough times where I'm like, all right, well, I got 15.
Okay,
like I've got my 15 down or whatever. But yeah, no, I'd say probably get a handful of feature sets, and then I want to do a few road gigs that aren't related to World Series.
Oh, that's good. That'll be fun.
Yeah, nothing too crazy, but just another rung up on the ladder.
Yeah.
So, what about you, man?
I'd like to move at some point.
Right. Yeah.
That's kind of the idea, is to move somewhere. So that I guess it's like a tangible life goal.
Right.
But yeah, I think moving is like my big goal for comedy and life, and going to just going to a little bit bigger city.
What are you thinking about?
I'd really like to go to New Orleans. I'd like
Right.
to go down there, live there. Because I looked at it, I was like, even if comedy weren't a thing, like if it weren't a thing that I did, if I just like, did some Edmund bullshit, had a family, I would be very sad if I got old and hadn't lived there when I was relatively young and able to put a lot of toxins in my body.
Right.
You want to live there while you can soak in all those poisons.
Yeah.
I think is the idea. So yeah, that'd be a nice goal. It feels good. Doesn't it feel good to put on tape?
What do you mean?
Like to say a thing and it's there and people can hold you accountable.
Oh,
for it.
yeah.
It's
No.
nice to do that.
Yeah.
Are you recording your own fucking face on this?
Oh, I record. Got you. I got
There's
you
so many
again.
screens.
Yeah, I know. That's why.
Great.
Last time, I recorded one with Alex Kroll, and I fucking didn't hit play or record on that one, and I had the whole thing just a view of him, and I was fucking mad.
That's great. Well, he's a good-looking man. If you're gonna have just an hour of someone's face, his isn't the worst face.
But yeah, no, because I put the audio on iTunes, and then I've got this on YouTube, split screen of me and you. So I figured I'd just get it out in as many formats as possible.
That's good.
But,
That's fun.
I've kind of thought about moving too, just because I'm kind of tired of being here. I love Oklahoma. I've lived here my whole life.
Yeah.
But I don't, kind of like you, I don't want to get to the end of my life and be like, I didn't live anywhere else.
That's Edmund, man. This is what Edmund does to you. Edmund will murder you. Edmund will kill you. It will. Edmund is where people come to die before they're ready to die. Yeah. Like you move here when you're 35. And you're like, oh yeah, I'll live in Edmond for a bit, and then
that's it.
5 years later, you're dead. You're not dead, but you're dead
on the inside.
Like you just welcome to Edmond. We're gonna bury you. That would be a nice.
I thought about either Vegas or Los Angeles.
Oh, those both sound awful.
Yeah, everyone fucking listen to the Zach Smith podcast that he did with me, because he just fucking berates Vegas for a good 15 minutes.
It's a shit city.
Yes. But one reason I want to move there is
so you can keep doing magic.
Yes, I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna get a residency.
As a magician.
You know it.
And then you'll add the comedy to spice up the magic.
There we go.
And then you'll hang yourself from a balcony. This is
great. No, I'll have a theater, dude. I'll be able to do it from the fly floor.
Well, yeah, but you can hang yourself from the balcony of the theater.
Well,
you're gonna want to do something artistic.
I think it's gonna be on the fly floor, because then they're gonna bring in the curtain on Showtime, and then there's gonna be a body, and it was.
Oh no, they're gonna know you hung yourself. Like you don't miss a body. Have you ever heard about this forest in Japan where everybody hangs themselves?
Yeah, the suicide forest. Yeah,
it'll be something like that, but just with you and your pathetic comedy magic thing. Go to Vegas. The more we talk about it, the more I want you to die in Vegas.
That's so sweet of you.
Bury you in the desert in an anonymous grave.
The reason I want to do it is because Joe is trying. He had a show there at one point, and then he's trying to get another show at a casino. And if he gets the show going, then he said that if I move out, and I just trust him. I've been working for him for a year. So I better be able to fucking trust him. But that I would be able to open for him basically 5 nights a week.
That's nice.
And that's one way to end.
His last show closed because of all the cocaine.
I don't think that's the case.
That's what I heard.
I highly doubt that, mainly because he's not a thin man.
I heard it was all the thin people don't do cocaine. Thin people are poor. Big people do cocaine. Big people have enough money to put food in their mouth.
That's a valid point.
That's a very valid point.
I didn't think about it that way.
I make nothing but valid points.
But either there, and I kind of want to do LA just because I know it's tough, but at the same time, I think that the difficulty level will force me to get better.
Yeah, go to the Comedy Store, get shot. It'll be a good time.
That's only happened once, jackass.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, lightning.
That's funny. Man, I've told
1,000 Ways to Kill Andrew Rose. That's a better podcast title.
Yeah.
That's a better podcast.
And then all I got to do is do 1,000 episodes and have one method per.
I'm pretty sure if this lasts for 1,000 episodes, you've already killed yourself.
There's a possibility.
What do you think the over under? If this goes 40 episodes, I'll buy you a bottle of vodka, cheap.
Like I was gonna
Like Burnett's.
okay, or Barton's or whatever.
No, I'm not a masochist. I'm a sweet boy. This goes 40 episodes. Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. This goes 40 listenable episodes.
Go fuck yourself, Tom.
You can put out 40 listenable episodes. So I'll give you like 80 episodes. If every other one is listenable and we're at 40, then, you know, you still meet the quota.
What is it? I've told so many people, like, it's not you based on you, but it's just like, just me in the scene. I just go, I'm the fucking comedy scene's little brother. Everyone fucking rags on me for whatever reason. Not that
I could give you the reasons.
Well, let's go with it, buddy. Just because I want to hear you come off the
no, you're great.
The
you're,
top of your no. It's
you're an easy target because you're so likable.
Right. You've said that a couple times.
Yeah, you're likable. I wouldn't make fun of you if I didn't secretly like you. I make fun of people that I like. People that I don't like, I just ignore.
Right.
Yeah. You know. At least you mean well. At least you put yourself out there. At least you take a risk. And there's something to be admired about that. You take risks.
What do you mean? Like,
you're doing all the driving for the World Series.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Sometimes it seems a little bit like a fool's errand because I don't know how much money you're making. I assume it's nothing.
Little about that, yeah.
It's close to nothing. It's a risk, and you're taking a risk, and you're taking a different route to building your career instead of sitting back in a city and bitching. Instead of getting online and complaining about why nobody books you. You know why people book people? They book people because they like them. They book people because they're okay on stage. They're good on stage.
Yeah. There's been something a couple times that shit like that's popped off. And
you know.
I don't fucking.
Yeah, you put your head down and you keep working.
Right.
And more people could do that and get better, and it'd be great.
I agree.
It'd be great.
So, but yeah, no.
How long are we talking for?
Has
this hit enough time?
Yeah, we're about an hour.
Oh, good.
Hour 12.
I would love to leave.
Get
out of this weird room where some kid took communion off a guy's dick.
Yeah, that's a very high likely possibility that happened.
Good Lord, again,
it looks like a fucking forest adventure for fucking. And you're in the. I don't. Who the fuck did it? There's trees, and then there's clouds. A tree in the clouds.
Have you asked if you could repaint it?
I don't want to do that.
Oh, so you like it?
It's not that I don't like it. I'm just lazy.
Well, no, but I mean, like you don't not like it enough to actually repaint it, so you kind of like.
Well, let me put it this way: literally every room that I've ever had, I never put any art up. I never have. So this is the first.
I'm not talking about putting art up. I'm talking about
Well, no. That's what I'm getting at. I never have had art on my walls because I never did it, and now I have it, and I didn't have to do anything. I'm like,
so you like sleeping in Narnia? I get it. Look, I get it. It's fun. This is who you are now.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is great.
I'm living in a fucking.
Can't wait for the FBI to raid this room.
And I gotta hide my lifesavers and silly putty.
Yeah, no, clearly, yeah. A box of lifesavers, and booze.
The fireball. My dad had that at his house when he moved out, and I just grabbed it because he's not gonna drink it.
How long ago since your dad passed?
He didn't die. He moved.
Well, I thought you meant like moved.
No. He moved to Kansas. Which pissed me off because this is the main reason
Did he move to Kansas to go be with the woman he cheated on your mom with?
No, he married her, and then they got a divorce because she cheated on him with a black dude.
Oh, that's great.
It's hysterical.
Is this why you don't like black people?
I live with 2 black people, so that's not true at all.
No, come on.
I'm not lying.
Well, I mean, I've heard things that you've said.
Yeah, I really don't think so.
All right.
But no, he's totally bullshitting. It's not real. But no, my rent got raised $100, and then I said I'll move in with my dad. And he was cool with it because I could help with my sister every now and then also I wouldn't have to pay rent.
Is your sister autistic? Why do you have to help with her? Is she blind?
She's 12.
Look at that. What do you'll help with your sister?
To and from school, pick her up, little shit like that.
Okay.
Take her
You
back.
made it sound like she was Helen Keller.
No, I didn't mean it like that.
You're going to teach her the word for water.
Or, if like she's scared to stay home by herself or whatever, just make sure I'm there and we'll watch TV.
Who are you going to fend off?
It has nothing to do with fending off anybody. It has to do with her being scared and me being able to go, I can protect you, which is bullshit,
you
clearly.
You can't.
But she doesn't know that.
She's going to figure it out.
Well, yeah, no, that's a fucking...
She'll learn either through life experience.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten your ass kicked?
Never.
Really?
Never been in a fight.
Has anyone ever tried to fight you and you were like, oh, I have to leave?
No, I got in a fight on the bus when I was in like 7th grade, but like it really
You
didn't.
didn't get tuned up?
This is a fight that lasted 3 days in the sense of it happened, three sequential days. The first day he came up and he said some stuff and I just sat there. I didn't do anything.
What'd he say?
I can't remember.
Come on.
No, I swear to God, I can't remember. He was basically just like, come on, let's go. And I was like, I'm not doing anything. And he fucking punched me in the side of the head and walked off the bus. I was like, okay, that happened.
He punked you.
Huh?
He punked you.
I guess. I don't, and then and eventually he came to the back of the bus and I said, just get off the bus. I'm not going to fight you. I haven't the last 2 days.
Well, you can't tell him to get off the bus. You're not fighting him. You can't make orders when you're the one that's getting punched in the face.
Well, no. Well, that's true, I guess. But either way, so he kind of swung.
Do you see why he hit you now?
I know. Well, I know why he hit me. I was.
Because you deserve to be hit.
I guess. But, no, and like the last day or whatever, he came into the back. I was like, dude, just get off. I'm not going to fight you and everything. And then he swung and I'm pretty sure I dodged it and I hit him and he fell and my friend grabbed him and I went in and my friend didn't grab him on purpose. He just grabbed him like instinctually. Just it happened.
Sounds like this was a planned jump.
No, it wasn't because it wasn't like a crazy good friend of mine. He was just a guy that I talked to on the bus.
Okay, just a guy that you talked to about teaming up to kick some dude's ass.
Well, no, here's the funny thing is that I 100% remember his name is Nick McLemore and he did not do this on purpose. I swear to God, because I remember the whole conversation.
Nick McLemore's the kid that punched you?
No.
Okay, so who's the kid that punched you? Because if you remember the guy that caught him, you remember the kid that punched you. What's his name? First and last.
I don't know his last name. I swear to God.
Off.
No. His first name's Bodine. I swear to God.
Bodine. No, I buy that. But you don't remember his last fucking name, but you remember Nick McLemore. Like you guys were fucking born together.
I'm still friends with him on Facebook.
That's fine. You can't find Bodine on Facebook.
Well, first off, I wouldn't want to find Bodine.
Is it Bodine like two separate words or is it one word?
I think it's like Brad Chad. He's got two first names.
Okay, but is it like
Bodean? I would assume.
Bodine?
Yes.
All right.
I lived out in the rural town. We had a whole bunch of redneck.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Names. If I can remember his sister's name, I can remember his last name. God damn it.
Man, nothing's coming up. There's a movie called Ronnie Bodine, but there's a band called the Bodines.
I don't think that is.
There's one Bodine. He's a black gentleman.
Nope, white dude.
There's a white guy. I don't think he's on Facebook. Listen up, Bodine, you fucking coward. Andrew Rose will fight you. He will fight you today at what's your address? 1301.
Go fuck yourself. Don't give out my address, goddammit.
He will fight you at this place that we're broadcasting from, which is his home. He will fight you at his home, one-on-one. Nick McLemore, stay the fuck out of it. I want you to take your manhood back, Andrew. I think it'll be good for your confidence.
Well, it's not. Well, I mean, it's not that I'm not confident. I
don't know, Andrew. I don't know. You say you are, and then I wonder.
Well, I'm not saying I am. I'm just saying.
You think you could kick Bodine's ass now?
Oh, hell no.
No?
No, I know, because it's one of those things. Like here's the thing. I moved away.
What if you got a weapon?
What's the weapon?
I don't know. Like what do you need? Like you have that guitar. Looks like it's got heft to it.
Yeah, I don't.
You think you could swing that guitar at him?
No.
Fast enough to where you wouldn't see it coming?
No.
What about like a bottle?
Might be able to do bottle.
Yeah, you could bottle.
Might be able.
Does he have a peanut allergy? You could throw that jar of peanuts at him.
Those are my honey roasted peanuts.
That's fine. You put them down.
But no,
you could solve that Rubik's Cube and tell him not to take your lunch money.
it's already solved.
Yeah, fucking fight him. Come on. Sitting there solving Rubik's Cubes, you should be tracking Bodine down and taking back that year of your life you spent terrorized by him.
I wasn't terrorized. It was like a week.
Was it a week?
Yes.
Or was it the entirety of your senior year?
It wasn't my fuck you.
Come on.
I was in 7th grade.
Okay, that's fine. You can tell me. You can tell me what you want to tell me, or you can tell me the truth.
I'm telling you the truth. It was in like 6th grade.
Okay, because you said 7th earlier.
It's 6th or 7th. I can't remember which one.
Of course.
I just know it was before. It was before we moved away. Because hold on, I was on the bus.
Look, Andrew. I don't actually care.
I know you don't.
I want you.
I'm just trying to.
But I want you to fight Bodine. You're trying to defend yourself using your words.
Well, this is what
you should have punched me by now.
I'm not gonna punch you.
Smart move.
You're a good friend of mine, and I know that you can fight. You've said stories about the shit that you had.
Oh, those are all lies. Those are all lies. Yeah.
Even your what is it?
I think the only let's see, the last major conflict I was in was Jeffrey Burwell in the 6th grade. Chipped my front tooth.
I was thinking more of the
I'll find him.
The frat bull crap that you had to go through.
Oh no, that was never a fight. That was just a good time.
But no, I'm not saying it. But you still had to not get hurt.
We had fun. I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Oh, I apologize for.
No, it's a federal gag order. It's nothing with the fraternity.
Oh,
That's also a lie. How do you want to put a bow on this? I want to put a bow on this. What kind of bow do we want to put on this? We know that actively, you were a coward who was terrorized by Bodine for a year of your life. You do not like black people due to your mother's infidelity.
No, due to my stepmother's.
Oh, my fault. And you're really trying to break into the comedy magician game.
Yeah. I got one. This would be a fun thing to end on if you want to, just because.
Yeah. Maybe.
Whatever. First joke you wrote.
Oh, the first joke I wrote was about.
And then I'll let me do mine because I think yours is probably going to be better.
No, it's not. It's real bad. But go.
Okay.
Go.
Well, first one I ever wrote was a one-liner, obviously. And this is back in fucking sophomore year, I think. Which I give myself a lot of credit for because I was like, hey, I could come up with something that was like. It was pretty decent for my not know how to write a joke or whatever.
Yeah.
I said, and I can't do it now because the company's defunct. I said, I'm going to have a company, another cell phone company. We're going to be like singular, but we are going to be twice as good. We are going to be plural.
Oh, that's great.
I thought that was a pretty good joke
funny.
for back in the day. So, but that was one of the first things I ever wrote.
The first joke I ever wrote, and I did it the first time I did comedy, was about eating pussy on shrooms and how a vagina looks like a starfish's mouth. And the whole time, all I could think was like, this pussy's gonna throw its stomach and try to eat my head. It's very dumb.
I gotcha.
It's super dumb. It's the dumbest thing. So that's so like where I'm at now, where I do a knock knock joke where I yell at people for 10 minutes. Okay. Boy, I have come leaps and bounds.
Dude, that joke is amazing.
No.
Hear me out. In the thought that you crafted it. It sounds whatever, but like you took like a normal whatever joke that what everyone knows, and then you kind of just took it and just like made it your own that like not a lot of people do or whatever. It's a
fun thing.
It's a good fucking joke.
At the end of the day, it's just a bunch of yelling.
But it's fucking funny.
And making fun of vaping.
I can't remember where. I want to say it was Othello's. You did it for a good 7 minutes, 7 minutes. You ran that thing long.
I've dragged it out.
And there's been some or whatever. Like it was the one.
Normally it runs like 3 minutes, but yeah, I think one time I was I think I was mad or I was in a bad mood or something, and I told Brad Chad, I was like, bet I can do that knock knock joke for 7 minutes, and he was like, I'd like to see it. He's me like, yeah, I'd watch that. And so I tried to do it for like, I told the host I was gonna run the light, and I was like, just give it a minute
or two.
Yeah, and so I did it for like 7 minutes.
But yeah, I remember like it was good. But either way, I do enjoy that joke very much. So, it's clever.
The weirdest thing about it is I guess people like remember it, and I got to do a show at OU, and afterwards like three people came up and were like, oh man, where was the knock knock joke? And they had like their friends. They were like, well, we told our friends that you tell like the best knock knock joke ever. Where was I was like, oh, that's very kind. It's just a bunch of yelling, but I'm so glad that you enjoy me threatening to murder someone during a knock knock joke. Yeah, it was nice.
But awesome, man. If you want to let all the peoples know how to get in contact with you on your social media on the interwebs.
You can. I really like Snapchat right now, and I would love it if more people would friend me on Snapchat. Let me look up because I have some different names here. My Snapchat handle is Josh Lathe Sucks. Lathe Sucks. I really enjoy it. So I would love it if some people used it. And then on Instagram, I would love more people on Instagram. It's called I Hate Josh Lathe. It's really great. And then on Twitter at Josh Lathe Comedy. And the only reason that's not fuck Josh Lathe is because my mom got a Twitter, and she's a sweet woman. And I try to take care of your moms. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then more people can come to Josh and Heather's Good Time Fun Show. I
got to come to one of those, man.
You have to. Our Halloween spectacular, our Christmas spectacular, Both of our holiday spectaculars, people have gotten to see my nude ass.
You can do that on the Valentine's Day too?
So, oh man, I hope so. I don't really consider it a holiday, but why not? Definitely Easter. I mean, definitely. If every holiday show I get to show my nude ass, I'll be buried happy.
Every holiday? Are we like Flag Day too, or?
Yeah, I mean, any time we theme the show.
Okay, I feel you.
Yeah. Everyone should come out at Guildhall. It's BYOB. It's free. It's the best time.
I've heard.
We get really drunk, and then we make really funny comedians do dumb stuff during their sets.
Does you have like rules and shit that people have to abide by?
We've done a variety of things. We've done
Right.
rules. We have a game where we make someone do a set at the top of the show, and then they spend the rest of the show getting as drunk as they've ever been in their life, and then they close the show, which is mixed results.
Right.
Sometimes it leads to gold, like with Alex Sanchez. Other times it leads to what's memorable. Matt Rainey, when he closed his set out, asked everyone in the audience that thought they were friends with him to raise their hands. And then he was like, no, keep them up. And then he was like, but if you think you're friends with me, raise your hand if we've ever actually hung out at your house. And everyone put their hands down. I was like, oh, time to end the set. We don't do feelings. Ba-da-ba. James Nim poured vodka on his head, twirled in a circle, and then ran out the front door to close his set. It was good. It is a good time, and it is a fun show. So
that's awesome.
It's probably my favorite thing in the world to do right now. Is that show.
And when is that again?
That's the thing is we keep changing the date. Normally it's normally the second or third Saturday of the month. We normally do doors at 7, shows at 8, and the show's normally done by 10. So if you have other Saturday plans, you can go to it. But we always hang out afterwards and get drunk. I mean, it's a good time. After the Christmas show, we did a bunch of Flip Cup, and
hell yeah.
It's always a lot of fun. It's my favorite thing in the world has been running a show that's like our show, and we do whatever we want, and nobody tells us no. And the venues. I think the one time the venue told me no was I wanted to have someone get blood dumped on them, like fake blood dumped on them during the set. I wanted to call it Carrie.
Oh shit!
And make someone do a Carrie set.
That's funny.
But they were like, we don't want to clean it up, and I was like, I don't want to clean it up either. So
let's not roll with it.
Yeah, let's not do a thing that none of us want to do.
Well, hell yeah, man! I'll definitely try and come out, and everyone else, you should check out the show and.
Oh, and go on Spotify and search my name, and then listen to my my album that I don't like anymore. That never fit.
That never fit.
Because every dime helps.
Right.
Every listen puts a couple pennies in the old man's pocket.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, sir, for coming on and sharing your stories and all the fun stuff.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for having me in your terrifying room.
Anytime, man. I'll do a panoramic shot of everything, and I'll text it to you, so you got that. And you can
that's great.
Just,
that's great.
Get scared.
Yeah.
But, ladies and gentlemen, sirs, thank you for listening, and again,
Andrew Rose hates black people. Thank you.
Cut.
Great. That's fun. That'll be good. It'll be good, buddy.
Andrew Rose hates black people.
Well,
aren't you funny?
I do my best. Thanks, man.
Not a problem, man.
What time is it?
7:12.
Oh no, I have to go home.